I never thought a single sentence could shatter a room full of cooing aunts and tipsy cousins. But there it was, hanging in the air like smoke from a gunshot. Because Faith's barren womb isn't worth the hassle. The words dripped from Mark's lips, casual as ordering a beer, right after Aunt Rita's bubbly question about grandkids lit up the fairy lights. In that frozen heartbeat, I saw it all. The lies we'd buried under our perfect Hamptons-adjacent life. The secret I'd carried like a stone in my gut for 5 years. The betrayal that started in a dingy motel room and ended with me holding the bag for his sins. It was supposed to be Emily's day. My best friend since our Kappa Sigma pledge days at UVA. Her belly swollen under that ridiculous tutu dress. Surrounded by the kind of Pinterest-perfect chaos that screams we're all winning at adulting. Bottles of rose chilling in ice buckets. A diaper cake towering like some fertility god's offering. And Mark, my husband of 7 years. The golden boy with the tech startup smile, leaning back in his Adirondack chair. Beer in hand. Playing the charming uncle-to-be. I'd spend the morning stringing those damn lights. Baking lavender shortbread that no one touched because gluten. Arranging the charcuterie board just so. All to pretend we were normal. All to hide the rot. But Mark. Oh God. Mark. He always had a way of twisting the knife when you least expected it. Like he got off on the gasp that followed. And that afternoon, with Emily's ultrasound photos pinned to the dessert table like holy relics, he dropped the bomb. The room went pin-drop silent. Forks hovering midair over quiches. Eyes darting from him to me like we'd just announced a cult sacrifice. Emily's hand flew to her mouth, mascara threatening to run. Aunt Rita's wineglass slipped, shattering on the patio stones in spray of red that looked too much like blood for comfort. I stood there, 32 years old, in my thrift store wrap dress that hid the scars no one knew about, feeling the heat crawl up my neck. Barren. The word clawed at me, not because it was true, though the doctors had whispered it after the 3rd miscarriage, but because it was his weapon, sharpened on years of my silence. I'd protected him, lied for him, let him climb while I drowned in the fallout. And now, in front of everyone who'd ever toasted our storybook romance, he was burning it all down. For what? A laugh? A power trip? Or just to remind me who held the leash? I didn't scream. Didn't throw the punch bowl at his smug face, though every fiber screamed too. Instead, I smiled, that tight, Southern girl's smile mama drilled into me back in Richmond, and said, well, that's one way to kill the vibe. Laughter rippled, nervous and forced, as Emily rushed over with a hug that smelled like vanilla candles and desperation. But inside, something snapped. The good wife, the loyal friend, the woman who'd swallowed glass for love, she cracked open like an egg, yolk spilling out dark and vengeful. Mark caught my eye across the wreckage, his grin fading just a fraction, like he sensed the storm I'd finally let brew. That night, as we drove home in the Tesla he'd financed with my inheritance, irony's a bitch, I gripped the wheel so hard my knuckles bleached. The Hamptons blurred past, McMansions glowing like false promises, and I plotted. Not the weepy kind of revenge you see in Lifetime movies, all tears and therapy sessions. No. This was American as apple pie laced with arsenic, calculated, cold. The kind that leaves you questioning if justice is just another word for hell. Because Mark wasn't just cruel, he was a thief. He'd stolen my youth, my fertility, my freedom. And the secret? The one that started it all? It wasn't mine to carry anymore. We'd met in the fall of 2015 at a rooftop mixer in D.C. During my internship at the EPA, fresh out of UVA with a poli-sci degree and dreams of saving the Chesapeake Bay from corporate greed. Mark was the hotshot consultant, 28 to my 24, with that tousled brown hair and a jawline that could have sold cologne. He bought me a gin and tonic, quoted Hemingway like it was foreplay, and by midnight, we were tangled in his DuPont circle sheets, whispering futures over the hum of the city. "You're different, Faith," he murmured, tracing my collarbone. "Real. Not like these Step-4 drones." I believed him. Hell, I lapped it up, because in a sea of policy wonks and lobbyists, he made me feel seen. But Mark's charm was a Trojan horse. 6 months in, he proposed on the National Mall at Cherry Blossom Peak, kneeling with a ring that cost more than my student loans, cameras flashing like we'd scripted it for Instagram. We said yes. And I quit the EPA gig without a second thought when he landed that Silicon Valley offer. "We'll build an empire, babe," he said, eyes gleaming over takeout pad thai in our cramped Georgetown walk-up. Palo Alto was the promise, sun-drenched innovation, venture capital flowing like wine. I sold it to my folks as destiny. Mama cried happy tears. Daddy shook Mark's hand and called him son. Lies. All of it. Built on the first crack I ignored. The real fracture came a year into marriage, in the sterile glow of a Menlo Park clinic. I'd been queasy for weeks, chalking it up to the kale smoothies and stress of unpacking boxes in our cookie-cutter Craftsman. The test was positive, 2 pink lines that lit me up like 4th of July. Mark hooped, scooping me into a spin that ended with us on the kitchen floor, laughing through tears. Our legacy. Faith. Mini-MES conquering the world. We told everyone. Brunches with his tech bros. Video calls home. It was perfect, or so I thought. Then the bleeding started. Midnight call to the ER. Ultrasound wand cold against my belly. Doctor's face folding like bad news origami. Miscarriage. Just shy of 12 weeks. They called it a fluke. Chromosomal glitch. But the ache hollowed me out. Mark held me through the nights, whispering, "We'll try again. You're a fighter." And I was. Or tried to be. But the second came faster. 6 months later, another heartbeat snuffed before it could cry. The third, that was the kicker. 8 weeks. And I woke to sheets soaked crimson, dialing 911 while Mark slept off a client dinner. The police came too, though I didn't know why at first. Not for me, for him. Turns out, that client dinner wasn't schmoozing VCs. It was a backroom deal gone south. Coke-fueled and sloppy, with a whistleblower's email hitting inboxes the morning of my bleed-out. Mark had been cooking the books at his firm, funneling kickbacks from a shady offshore hedge fund to pad his startup seed money. Embezzlement. Wire fraud. The feds were circling like sharks. And me? I was the patsy. My name on the joint accounts. My signature on the transfer forms he'd forgotten to mention. It was for us. Faith, he sobbed in the hospital waiting room, while nurses wheeled me to recovery. The baby fund. Our future. I covered for him. Signed the NDA his lawyer shoved under my nose. Spun the story to the investigators. Clerical error. Folks. We were clueless. Took the plea deal, community service, probation, a felony record that tanked any chance of me going back to policy work. Mark walked free, pivoting to his ethical AI venture, charming investors with TED Talk bullshit. And our bed, it stayed empty. No more trying. He blamed the stress, the trauma, but I knew better. The miscarriages weren't flukes, they were fallout. The coke he'd hidden in our garage, traces in the air, in our water, seeping into me like poison. Doctors confirmed it later. Off record. Elevated toxins. Fertility nuked. But I kept quiet. For love, loyalty, or just the sunk-cost trap of a girl from Richmond who'd bet it all on a boy with stars in his eyes. By the baby shower. 5 years deep. I was a ghost in my own life. Mark's arm candy at galas. The inspiring survivor he trotted out for PR. Emily knew bits, enough to hug me tighter at girls' nights, but not the core rot. No one did. Until his quip cracked the facade. That night, after the drive home in brittle silence, I locked myself in the guest bath, staring at the woman in the mirror, sharp cheekbones from skipped meals, eyes like storm clouds. Enough, I whispered. Revenge wasn't a word I'd ever owned, but it fit now, snug as a loaded Glock. Not violent, I'm no Tarantino heroine, but surgical. American justice. Drag them down slow. Make and watch their empire crumble from the curb. First step, dig. While Mark snored off the rose, I cracked his laptop. Password still our anniversary. The arrogant prick. Emails. Deleted but recoverable. Flirty threads with interns. Offshore alerts pinging fresh deposits. But the gold? A folder labeled contingency. Photos of me. Asleep. Vulnerable. Notes on my instability. Code for the miscarriages he'd weaponized in custody hypotheticals. And a draft will, leaving me nothing but the dog if I ever cracked. He'd been planning the exit, lining up alimony dodges while I baked his damn cookies. Dawn broke gray over the redwoods, and I started the calls. Not to lawyers, too traceable.
To ghosts from my past.
First, Daddy's old fishing buddy, now a PI in Norfolk. Faith girl? Been too long. What's the trouble? I spun a yarn about suspected infidelity, kept it light. By noon, his report pinged. Mark's business trips to Vegas weren't poker nights. High-stakes hookers. Underground parties where NDAs flowed like champagne. Controversial? In our blue state bubble.
Yeah, me too era.
And here was my hubby playing Hugh Hefner with NDAs thicker than his conscience. But that was appetizer. The main course simmered in those emails, ties to a cartel-light outfit laundering through his AI firm. Not narcos in sombreros, suburban suits. Crypto bros washing dirty money via blockchain innovations. Mark wasn't just embezzling, he was enabling. And me? My clean record, pre-felony, had been the bait for investors.
Now.
With my stain.
He didn't need me.
Except as the fall guy. Again. The will draft? It framed me as the unstable one, ready to flip if cornered. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, I played the part, morning coffee with a kiss. Sorry about yesterday. Babe, hormones. He bought it, patting my hand like a child. Water under the bridge. But as he zoomed his board, I seeded the first leak. Anonymous tip to a Bloomberg stringer I'd networked with pre-marriage. Tech darling's dark side. Follow the blockchain. Vague enough to hook. Specific enough to bite. By evening, my inbox, burner account had a nibble. Got leads. What's your angle? The angle? Him. All of him. But revenge is a marathon, not a sprint. I needed allies, not avengers. Emily first. Over lunch at her favorite Palo Alto cafe, avocado toast and decaf lattes, I cracked the dam. The shower. That wasn't a slip. He's been chipping away at me for years. Her eyes widened. Hand on her bump.
Faith.
Why didn't you say? We could've. Protected him? Yeah. I know. I laid it bare. The miscarriages. The cover-up. The poison. Omitted the cartel whiff too hot. She wept. Furious.
That bastard.
I'll gut him. But Emily's no killer. She's HR gold. What do you need? Leverage, I said. Her hubby, a VC lawyer, could sniff financials without bells. Next, the PI's full dossier, hotel receipts, wire transfers, a burner phone log pinging a number tied to a shell corp in the Caymans. Controversial decisions loomed. Do I burn it all now? Or peel layers? I chose peel. Uploaded snippets to a dark web forum for whistleblowers. Masked my IP through a dozen VPNs. Watched the threads ignite. Another Musk wannabe laundering dreams? Replies poured. Ex-employees with grudges. A coder claiming sexual harassment cover-ups. Mark noticed the chill by week's end. You're quiet.
Babe.
Still mad. Over steak at Everest, his power dinner spot. I smiled cool. Just thinking about family. He tensed. Fork pausing.
About that.
Maybe we table kids talk. Focus on the IPO. IPO. His holy grail.
500,000 pesos valjuaschen whispers.
I'd helped build it, late nights coding ethics modules while he glad-handed. Now, fuel for the fire. That night. Twist one, he flipped. Rolled over in bed. Hand on my hip. I was wrong at the shower. Heat of the moment. Let's try again, IVF. Whatever. Voice thick with rehearsal. I feigned tears. Nodding into his chest. I want that. Us. But as he drifted off, I texted the Bloomberg guy. Angle's betrayal. Personal. The leak dropped Monday. Insider alleges embezzlement at rising AI firm. Stock dipped 3%. Mark raged at breakfast. Phone in fist. Who the fuck? Sabotage. I soothed. It'll blow over. Inside? Electric. But doubt crept. Was this justice or just spite? Emily called. He's scum.
But.
The baby's kicking. What if this tanks everything? Divisive already. Me against the world he'd built. But threads to innocence tangled in. Week 2. I escalated. Met the PI's contact, a disgraced Fed. Now private. Nursing a scotch in a dive off 101. Cartel ties? Bold claim. Sweetheart. I slid the phone log.
Bold man.
He whistled. This is RICO territory. You sure?
No. But yes.
The Fed nodded. Off books. Then. But if it blows, you're the face. Controversial? Hell yes, trading one fall for another. Maybe worse. Back home. Mark's facade slipped. Snapped at dinner. You're hiding something.
Spill.
I gaslit back. Paranoid much? It's the stress. But his eyes, predators. Calculating, saw too much. That night, he rifled my phone while I showered. Found nothing. Burner was clean. But the seed? Planted. The IPO roadshow kicked off in New York. Mark in bespoke suits. Me arm candy in sheath dresses. Smiling through jet lag. We crashed at the Beekman, views of the bridges like veins pulsing with money, and I used the downtime to weave tighter. From the hotel Wi-Fi, I funneled docs to the Fed, balance sheets doctored. Emails with code words like ghost transfers. He grumbled back. This ain't tidy.
Faith.
Loose ends bite. Loose ends like Emily's hubby, who'd flagged irregularities but begged off deeper dives. Conflicts.
Babe.
Or the coder, a 20-something named Jax, who DM'd my anonymous handle. He ruined me. False assault claims to fire me. Use this. Attached. HR memos. Lurid. Flipping Mark from victim to villain. Controversy brewed in my gut. Was Jax's story true? Or revenge porn for the aggrieved? I verified scraps, LinkedIn gaps, Reddit rants, but truth blurred. Mark's flips were legend. Charming mentor one day. Scorched earth boss the next. Like with me, lover to leech overnight. In the green room before his pitch at Goldman, he pulled me aside.
Bres min sharp.
You're my rock.
Faith.
After this, weary set. Therapy. Trips, kids if you want. Lie detector in my veins screamed false. But I nodded, kissing his cheek. Can't wait. The pitch killed, standing ovation. Term sheets floating. Champagne toasts, where he whispered, ours.
Babe.
All ours. But as confetti rained, my burner buzzed, Bloomberg deep dive queued. I delayed it, cruelty's no mercy, tipping the Fed instead.
Hold for now.
Let him taste the peak. Back in Palo Alto. The high crashed. SEC inquiry letters arrived like pink slips. Mark paced our living room, veins bulging. It's you, isn't it? The leaks. I blinked innocent. Me? I'm bleeding for you. He grabbed my wrist, hard enough to bruise. Don't fuck with me.
Faith.
I know your tells. Bruise or not. I didn't flinch. Prove it, he released. Storming out to his war room, the garage gym where he punched bags like enemies. That's when the antagonist in him fully unmasked. Midnight call from a board member. Resign or we vote no confidence. Mark's response? Flip to savior mode. Email blast confessing oversights, blaming underlings. Vowing transparency.
Me?
Buried in the fine print as executive advisor, my felony a quiet footnote. He was saving his skin by dragging shadows. But not mine. Not anymore. I countered with the shower tape.
Yeah.
I'd recorded it, discreet phone cam in my purse, capturing his zinger crystal clear. Uploaded to a gossip site, masked as leaked audio. By morning, TMZ ran, tech mogul's baby shower bombshell. Wife's barren womb, roast goes viral. Hashtags exploded. Cancel Mark Barongate. Feminists rallied for me. Survivor's fury. While bro culture defended. Joke gone wrong. Chill. Divisive perfection. Emily texted. Holy shit.
Faith.
This is war. I replied. Collateral. Stay back. Mark confronted at dawn. Face ashen over espresso. You leaked that?
Jesus.
Faith, my life's imploding. Tears? Real. Maybe. Or Oscar bait. It was cruel, I said flat. Like everything. He crumpled. Begging. I was scared. The pressure. I lashed. Flip again. Predator to prey. I almost bought it. That old muscle memory of forgiveness. But the bruise throbbed. Reminder. Scared? Try betrayed. We separated. His word. Couch surfing at a bro pad while I held the house. Space to plot. The Fed called. Got a bite. DOJ sniffing Caymans. But twist. Mark's lawyer pinged me, cease and desist. Alimony threats if I escalated. He was lawyering up, painting me unstable. Controversial move? I mirrored, filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable cruelty, attaching the audio as Exhibit A. Courts buzzed. Media swarmed our cul-de-sac. Enter Lila, the wild card. Mark's in turn, 25, all yoga pants and ambition, from the Vegas logs. She slid into my DMs. He promised me equity. Then ghosted. Help. Attached nudes. Consent forms dubious. Revenge porn potential? I hesitated. Women tearing down women, but forwarded to the gossip rag. Tech bros side hustle. Consent questions. Stock plummeted 15%. Mark's flip. Public apology video. Personal failings. Seeking help. Therapy speak. Crocodile tears. Viewers split. Believe women versus witch hunt. Emily hosted intervention. Her nursery, half-painted, mobiles dangling like nooses.
Faith.
This is destroying you. Walk away. Her bump kicked as she spoke. A living rebuke. He's poison. But vengeance? It's eating your soul. I sip tea.
Bitter.
Soul's long gone. This is reclamation. She hugged me, whispering, then end it clean.
Clean?
In America, revenge is never clean. It's super PACs and scorched tweets. Winners writing history. The climax brewed at the board meeting virtual, but I hacked in via Jax's backdoor code. Mark. Slick in a hoodie. Pitching survival. Pivot to ethics AI. Faith's vision. Her miscarriages inspired the resilience module. Using me? Post-leak?
Audacity.
I muted all. Dropped the cartel bomb. Live feed of wire transfers. Voice-modulated whistleblower narration. Chaos. Accusations flying. Mark's face pixelating to panic. Who is this? Faith. He knew. Crashed my door that night. Brain slicked. Eyes wild.
You bitch.
You'll ruin us all. Fist raised, not striking, but close.
I stood firm.
Pepper spray in pocket. Us. There is no us. You killed that 3 times over. He deflated, sobbing on the rug. I did it for you. The money. The life. Without it, we're nothing. Flip to confessor. The coke? 1 time. The deals? Desperation. Lies layered like onion skin. But the core? Truth glinted. He believed his own myth. We talked, raw. Ugly. He admitted the poison. The cover-up. I thought you'd forgive. Like always. I almost did. That divisive pull. Monster or man. Victim of his ambition. Dragging me down? But the Fed's text buzzed. Arrest imminent. Your call. Controversial decision. Stall. Run, I said. Disappear. I'll say you cracked. Took off.
Why?
Mercy? Or to watch him squirm longer. He bolted pre-dawn. Tesla vanishing into fog. I called the Fed. Stand down. Personal resolution. Emily. What the hell? Me. My war. But revenge's hook digs deep. Days blurred. Media circus. Pity dates from old flames. Then the twist call. Lila. Hysterical. He's here in my apartment. Says you'll kill him. Wait.
What?
I raced over. Heart hammering 280. Door ajar. Mark huddled. Pistol loose in hand, his father's. From the safe.
Faith.
End it. Make it look like I did it. Save the firm.
Suicide pact?
or frame. The room spun. Lila cowering. Mark's eyes pleading/guilty. You win. But take the fall, insurance. Narrative control. Controversial apex, no heroes. Him. Broken architect of hell.
Me.
Avenger turned executioner? Or savior? I snatched the gun. Barrel cold.
No.
Live with it. Tossed it aside. Dialing 911. Suicide attempt. Send help.
Cop swarmed.
Mark sedated to psych hold. Lila spilled, his flip to her. She's the monster now. Media twisted. Faith the Fury versus. Mental health matters. Divisive? Readers pick sides, her vigilante justice or his tragic fall. The psych ward smelled like bleach and broken promises. But I visited anyway twice. Under fluorescent hums that buzzed like accusations. First time. Mark was medicated haze. Mumbling apologies through plexiglass. You saved me.
Faith.
From myself. His hand pressed the divider. Mine hovered but didn't touch.
Saved?
Or sentenced. The docs diagnosed bipolar. Retroactive, explaining the flips. The cruelties. Classic manic episode, they said. The shower? Grandiose delusion. Bullshit. Or convenient. I nodded. Signing release forms for his supportive spouse. Emily cornered me post-visit. Nursery walls now duck-egg blue. Her contractions teasing early. You're enabling him. Again. She rubbed her belly. Eyes fierce. For what? Some twisted love. Love? The word soured. Like milk left out.
Closure, I lied.
Truth, control. With him locked in therapy mandates. The divorce cruised. Assets frozen. But I'd clawed half via prenup tweaks I'd snuck in years back. The firm? Board ousted him. Pivoting to faith-led ethics overhaul. Ironic crown, queen of the ashes. But the Fed loomed. Shadowboxing. Charges pending. But your stall bought time. He flipped state's evidence. I met him in that same dive. Rain sheeting windows. Let it die. Personal matters. He laughed. Gravelly. Personal? This is federal.
Kid.
Cartels don't forget. Sleepless nights followed, dreams of balaclavas at my door. Or worse. Mama's voice. Vengeance is the Lord's. Faith and Richmond Baptist guilt. Clashing with Cali grit. Twist deepened when Jack surfaced in person. Coffee shop hipster with tattoos peeking from Henley. The hack, that was me. Payback. But Mark. He mentored me once. Good guy. Bad choices. Ambiguity nod. Good guy? The memos said harasser. But Jax's eyes, wounded. Not wicked, muddied it. He flipped on me too. Fired for culture fit after I called out the laundering. We swapped war stories. Bonding over betrayals bitter brew. Join the board, I offered. Controversial, allying with the aggrieved, risking more leaks. He grinned. Hell yes. Reform from inside. Mark's release hit week 3, court-ordered outpatient. Ankle monitor beeping like a bomb. He moved to a rented condo in Menlo Park. Rebuilding. Our first date. Awkward sushi. Him fidgeting with chopsticks. Therapy's eye-opening. I was the villain in my head. Flipped to reformed. AA meetings. Yoga. Even a blog. From tech tyrant to humble hacker. Readers ate it. Redemption arc. American Dream Reloaded. Comment split. Give the man grace. Versus. Lock him up. My stomach twisted. Was I the enabler? Or the editor scripting his sequel? The cartel whisper escalated then, no metaphor. Burner call. Distorted voice. Senorita Faith. Your husband owes.
Pay.
Or we collect from you. Heart iced. I traced it. Burner to a flip phone in East LA. But the Fed confirmed. Sinaloa affiliates. Small fry, but mean. Controversial calculus. Shield Mark, or throw him to wolves. I chose hybrid, tipped the Fed coordinates. Clean sweep. No names. He grunted approval. Playing God now. Emily's water broke mid-crisis. Midnight dash to Stanford Med. Me and Scrubs holding her hand through screams. Push.
Ing.
You're a warrior, baby girl. 7 pounds even. Wailing like triumph. In the glow of the bassinet, Emily whispered, name her Hope. For you. Tears stung. Hope. That fragile bird I'd buried. But as nurses cooed, my phone vibrated. News alert. Tech ex-CEO's associates nabbed in money laundering sting. Mark's name absent, but the firm gutted, stock to pennies. He showed at the hospital uninvited, flowers wilting like his resolve. Heard about the bust. It's over. Eyes haunted. No flip, just hollow. They came for me last night. Flashlight in the window. Gone by dawn. Paranoia. Or prelude. I bundled Hope closer. Wait.
No.
Held Emily's and said,
Good.
let it be. But inside,
Storm.
the revenge I'd architected circled back. Fangs bared. Back home. Solitude cracked. Lila called. Voice small. He reached out. Wants forgiveness. From us both. Us, the harem of the hurt. I laughed.
Sharp.
Tell him to fuck off. But curiosity bit, met her at a park. Benches under cypresses. She was tougher up close. Not victim but survivor. Spilling. The nudes? Consensual. But he twisted it. Leverage. Her story flipped mine. Mark the seducer. Not just destroyer. We team up. Podcast.
Book deal.
Expose the ecosystem. Controversial allure. Monetizing misery. Or magnifying truth. I demurred. Solo act. The real gut punch landed via mail. Package. No return. Inside. My old ultrasound photos stained, torn with a note. Your barren legacy. Signed. The real fall guy. Mark's script. But postmark Vegas. He'd flipped again, framing me as the vengeful harpy. Mailing evidence to cops?
No. To me.
Psychological jab. Reminding the cost. I confronted at his condo. Door kicked in drama unnecessary. He answered meek. Takeout cooling on counter. The photos? Therapy exercise.
Bunny.
Lies stink. We argued. Voices rising. You poisoned me. You chose silence. Flips flew, him to aggressor. Without me, you're nothing. Richmond reject. Me to ice. Watch me thrive. Storm out. Tires screeching. But the twist uncoiled en route. Feds call. Your tip hand, big fish hooked. But one singing. About a devoted wife who knew.
Me?
Exposed? Panic clawed. Controversial endgame. Confess. Or double down. Emily's baby shower redux. Ironic. Her place now. 6 weeks post-birth. Hope gurgling in a bouncer. Guests milled. But tension hummed. Mark crashed it. Bold. Or broken. Peace offering, he announced. Cake in arms. Room froze. Echoes of that day. En trito gespt, Emily Glard. He set it down. Eyes on me. Faith. Talk. Outside. Under stars pricking smog. He dropped the bomb. I'm going away. Witness protection. They offered clean slate. Flip to informant. Spilling on the cartel. The firm. Everything. But I need you to come.
Testify.
Us against them. Hero-villain blur. Why me? Because you started it. The revenge. But it's bigger now. Divisive precipice. Join the flip. Become the good wife in Fed Theater? Or let him sink solo. My hands clean, hope's cry pierced from inside, innocence calling.
Issues. Wait.
No choice yet.
Think on it, I said.
He nodded, vanishing into night. Alone, I weighed. Revenge's arc bent, not broken. The world watched, podcasts dissected, op-eds debated. Vigilante or victim?
Me.
Center. No clear right. Dawn painted the bay in bruised purples. And I drove aimless. 101 uncoiling like a vein to nowhere. Mark's offer looped. Witness protection. Us rebooted in some flyover anonymity. New names. No tech.
No ghosts.
Tragic or triumphant. The Fed's warning echoed. Sing. Or swim with fishes. But singing meant owning my leaks. My hacks, felonies stacking like Jenga. Controversial core. Was revenge worth the cage? Pulled over at a vista point. Waves gnashing cliffs below. Phone calls stacked. Emily, don't you dare go back. Jax, board vote. Your interim CEO, Lila. Podcast deals live. Your story sells. Voices pulling. A chorus of what-ifs. Mama's Bible verse. Vengeance is mine. But this was 2025 America, vengeance outsourced to algorithms and amicus briefs. Decision crystallized in traffic back. Hybrid again. Met the Fed at a diner off 280. Hash browns congealing. Mark flips full, cartel.
All.
I corroborate. Off record. He eyed me. Coffee black as suspicion. Why now? Tired of falling. Deal struck. My testimony sanitized. His protection greenlit.
But the twist?
I walked. No joint relocation.
Solo, I said.
He blinked. Cold. Faith. American as it gets. Mark's reaction. Text first. WTF? We had a deal. Then voicemails. Flips cascading. Rage, you'll regret. Remorse, I need you. Seduction. New life. Babe, kids via surrogate. Ignored. Divorce finalized remote, half the remnants mine. Firm shares vesting. I stepped in as CEO. Jack's at my flank. Ethics overhaul real this time. Audits. Diversity mandates.
No saw those.
Media frenzy peaked. From betrayed bride to boardroom boss. Profiles painted me saint. Resilient.
Raw.
But comment seethed. She orchestrated it. Cynical climber. Divisive delight. Readers argued brunch tables. X threads aflame. Faith rising trended. Spawning merch, t-shirts. Barren no more. Build your empire. Emily's baptism for hope. Church in Atherton. White dresses and whispers. I stood godmother. Vowing protection. Mark sent a card. Proud of you. From afar. Postmark. Undisclosed. Protection engaged. Ghosts dispatched. But the real haunting? Nightmares of the miscarriages. tiny heartbeats silenced by his greed. Therapy helped mine, not his, unpacking the loyalty that chained me. Months blurred to merger. Firm acquired by a clean conglomerate. My payout 7 figures. Traveled. Richmond first. Mama's porch swing creaking under magnolias. You look fierce, girl. Daddy grilled steaks. No questions. Proud. Back west. Dated a professor. Kind eyes. No schemes. But sex? Hesitant. Body remembering betrayals bite. The final twist dropped unannounced. Pregnancy test. 2 lines. Not his IVF. Donor. Post-divorce whim. 40 weeks later. In that same Stanford room. I labored, screams echoing Emily's.
Boy.
8 pounds. Fists balled like fighters. Named him Asher, Hebrew for happy, but laced with ash from the burn. Mark learned via tabloid. Ex-wife's bundle of joy. Ultimate revenge. He wrote letter. Hand-scrawled from his nowhere town. Beautiful.
Deserved.
I was wrong every flip, every cut.
No begging.
Just truth. I burned it, but kept the envelope reminder. Ending?
No te idibao. Este.
Boardrooms bending.
But scars itch.
Controversial still. Was it justice? Or just survival? Readers debate. Her win heroic. Or hollow?
Me?
I hold Asher close. His breath sinking mine. And whisper. We made it. Happy? In fragments. Tragic? Only if you mourn the girl I was. But Faith 2.0? She's unbreakable, American forged. Revenge refined to resilience. The shower quip? Fodder for my TEDx. Silence shattered. From barren to boss. Laughter now. Not gasps. Mark? Fades to footnote. Flipping burgers in witness limbo. And the room? It echoes still. But I own the mic.